Hi everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Sarika if you are new here, and if you are returning, thank you for watching another video. Today we are doing something different, something new. I am back and I'm feeling really good to be back on YouTube. We're doing a chit chat, get ready with me. This is my finished look, and if you want to see how I got here, keep watching.
Oh, in a rise and boast. Yeah, we give thanks that we need it the most. We have to give thanks that we really supposed to. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So we're doing, as I said before, we're doing a chit chat, get ready with me. I've never done one of these before, so I'm a little nervous. I hope that I give good advice, good thoughts, good vibes, everything, you know what I mean? But with that being said, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a mental health professional, just a girl with her feelings, okay? So I got some tea. We're gonna spill some tea today. I'm going out with some friends. I'm going to Chiang Mai. It's like this Thai restaurant in Toronto. So I thought I would do a chit chat, get ready with me. I've never done this before. If y'all see my office right now, it looks a mess trying to get this ready. I've also never done my makeup like outside of my bathroom. So forgive me. I know a piece of feedback I've gotten is like, look in the camera. Forgive me, I'm gonna be like looking down at my mirror. So I got this mirror from my friend last year for my birthday. It's like a portable mirror. You can see all my cameras and stuff. But this is what it looks like, and that's what I'm gonna be doing my makeup in this morning. So yeah, just forgive me because I'm going to be like looking down into the mirror and talking, because I haven't quite figured out how to, you know, have the mirror behind. Anyway, so let's get started. I don't really take that long to do my makeup, so I hope I have enough time, you know, between how long it takes me to do my makeup and to get through all of these topics, because y'all gave me some good topics. So yeah, let's get started. So let me just look at my phone. The first topic we are talking about, so the first topic we're talking about is maintaining adult friendships. While we talk about that, I'm going to start my makeup. So I'm going to start priming my face with the Milk Grip Primer Base. This is the truth, okay? This is the best primer I've ever used. I've literally never used any other primer after I started with this, because it's very moisturizing and I like a matte finish. So if you do like a matte primer and then matte foundation, matte everything on top, your face is gonna look dry and you're gonna get the kind of like little circle flaky looking things on your skin. It won't look good. This hydro like grip primer is the truth. If you haven't used it before, you need to use it. So talking about maintaining adult friendships, okay? So I feel like it's really hard these days to maintain an adult friendship, just because, okay, so it's harder and easier. So here's why it's easier. It's easier because we have technology, right? So we have, you know, Instagram, WhatsApp, iMessage, Zoom, Skype, whatever, FaceTime, all of these pieces of technology that you can use to maintain contact with your friends. With that being said though, you actually have to use the platforms. So I find that sometimes I will just not keep up with some of my friends, right? So that's why I say it's easier. It's because we have the technology to keep up with our friends. It's harder because I feel like nowadays we have a lot of responsibilities as adults. I feel like millennials are super pressured. You know, like some people work multiple jobs, maybe some people have kids by this point, you have your own relationships, things like that. So sometimes your adult friendships might get neglected, but here are my thoughts on this. So I think that every friend that we have serves a different purpose in our lives. So, you know, you might have a friend that you confide in when you're feeling really anxious, when you're feeling stressed. You might have a friend that you talk to every single day, and it's more like a, hey, this is what I'm doing today. What are you doing? You kind of keep up with them. You have a friend that you turn up with. You have a friend that you only see like a couple months of the year. You don't really need to keep up with them, but when you see them in person, you spill all the tea and you catch up. So I feel like that each friend serves different purpose in our lives, and we should be really aware of what purpose each friend serves in our lives, and also be aware of what purpose we serve in our friends' lives, right? So if we're the person that, a friend confides in, try and make that extra effort to be present for your friend. If you're the turn up friend, again, be present, like be available if your friend wants to turn up, etc. When it comes to keeping your adult friendships alive, I think it's really important to be honest with your friends. Let them know what's going on in your lives as much as you feel comfortable doing so. So, for example, you could be like, I'm working multiple jobs right now, don't really have time to hang out all the time, or, I'm not in a good place mentally, so, I'd rather be inside right now. Maybe I don't have as much money as I want right now, so trying to save, like maybe we can do stuff inside. I think honesty and communication is key with adult friends, because it's really easy for people to feel neglected, and that feeling isn't nice. So it's important that as a friend, at least you try and make the effort to let people know what's going on in your lives. And yes, that takes energy and time, but if you value your friendships, then I feel like you should carve the time out in your day to do that, or in your life to do that. With that being said, though, I don't think that adult friends or adult friendships require the same level of hanging out as we did when we were kids. Like you'd be hanging out with your friends every other week. You go home from high school, you'd be hanging out with your friends. We don't really have time for that anymore. So before I continue, I'm going to start applying my foundation. So this is the Fenty Beauty foundation, and I wear the shade 380. This is like my regular shade, and it's the summer and I have a tan, and it's gonna look crazy on camera, but just trust the process. I totally forgot to my eyebrows. I'm crazy. Yeah, so with that being said, I think that people need to kind of manage their expectations of their friendships in terms of what they, how often they'll hang out, because I personally don't have the time to like go out all the time, especially during the school year. I don't really have time to do that. I get to school, I work, and then I come home, and sometimes late. So, and you're doing, prepping for the next day. So you don't really have time for that. And I think it's important that people or friends understand that it's nothing personal. It's more of I need to maintain my sanity. Okay, so I'm going to, I did ombre brows, so I don't need to fill in my brows or anything. I'm just gonna conceal with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is how it looks. I'm using the Morphe M432 brush to kind of just conceal above and under my brows. Yeah, so I feel like managing expectations is super important for adult friendships. That is not a cop-out to say, never hang out with your friends. You need to hang out with your friends sometime if you feel like mentally up to it. I suggest, because I'm a person who likes scheduling things, I suggest making a schedule. It's what I do. Forgive me, I'm going to be looking at my mirror down here. So what I do is I make a schedule. Oh my god, actually doing brows and talking is very hard. So I make a schedule, and what I do is ask friends to hang out and just make sure that I'm being aware of the fact that I'm hanging out with all my friends. I think scheduling is super important, because then you are able to keep track of what you're doing, where you're going, things like that. So yeah, I feel like we're grown. So I think it's important to just be aware of the fact that we're not going to be hanging out every single day like we may have when we were 12 years old. But with that being said, a friend is a friend, and you can't just never ever talk to them, never ever see them. Maybe you guys have friends like that. Oh god, my eyebrows are crazy. Maybe you have friends like that, but I personally don't. And I think adult friendships require work, and I mean you need to put effort and time and energy into your adult friendships to make sure that they work, right? And make sure that you are, you know, keeping in touch, that you are keeping that friendship alive. So those are my thoughts on adult friendships. So I guess in a nutshell, 1, know what each friend's, you know, the purpose they serve in your life, and know the purpose you serve in your friends' lives. Ooh. Okay, I think I just erased part of my brow. Okay, I'm gonna have to erase that out a little bit. Anyway, 2, make sure that you communicate with your friends about what's going on in your life, so that you can like be very transparent about how able you are to hang out with them, because I think that's important. Okay guys, my eyebrows are gonna look really crazy right now. It's gonna give those 2009 brows where we used to have the big block brows and stuff, and then your concealer was super bright. Again, just trust the process. It all comes together in the end. That's what I do every time I go out, and it looks okay. Like, I'm not a makeup artist by any, you know, stretch of the word. I think scheduling your, you know, hanging out with your friends is important. Oh, I also think it's super important to plan like different types of activities with your friends. I know that in Toronto, it's I know in Toronto it's really hard to actually do anything apart from going out to eat, which is really annoying actually, because like sometimes you'd be wanting to do other stuff. So maybe if you can, planning trips with your friends, going to the beach if you live in a place, you know, where you can go, where you can do that. Doing activities is super fun. Also, be there for the milestones, you know? Your friend got a new job, celebrate that shit. Be there for them, okay? So that's kind of my 2 cents on adult friendships. You need friends. Make sure you put the effort in maintaining those friendships. Yeah, all right, next topic, mental health. All right, this is a really personal topic because if you know me, you know that I struggle with my mental health, particularly anxiety. I have severe anxiety, and I think for people who don't know me, they might be like, what? There's no way. Like, obviously from the outside it may seem okay. Now that I've kind of carved out my brows, now I'm going to put my foundation on it. Again, as I said, it's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, shade 380. I don't know why my bottle got stained, but yeah, I'm just gonna apply dots all over, and then I'm going to use a brush and blend. Okay, so mental health. I have struggled with my mental health since I was about 10 years old, and I'm 27 right now, so that's about 17 years of my life has been defined by my mental health. I think that mental health, it's a chronic thing. Like, I really don't know if you can truly ever, you know, cure some of the mental health illnesses or disorders that you may have. And I think that right now, I don't know if I look gross. If you have that, like the trypophobia thingy where you're like afraid of circles, I know you're cringing right now. I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M39 brush. I do not think you can actually see the number, but yeah, it's a M439, and I'm going to blend. I knew this would happen to me, so I have one more thing to say about adult friendships. Yeah, I knew this would happen. I would like think of something after. But yeah, I also think you should know, you know, when to let go of an adult friendship. Obviously, if a friendship is abusive in any way, verbally, physically, you gotta let them go. But more so, like, if a friendship is very like emotionally draining, you feel like you really can't keep up with that friendship, I don't know if you need to cut that person off. I think maybe distancing yourself, giving yourself some grace. Sometimes friendships just don't work, especially in adulthood. I think that we become more aware of curating a particular life for ourselves, which is awesome. I think millennials and Gen Z we've been really good at doing that for ourselves, which means that certain people just don't make it into different stages of our lives, and that is okay. I think I used to be really upset if I was friends with someone and then like the friendship just did not work. I had to turn down my lights. I know that I'm probably gonna look really orange on camera. Let's see, I'm gonna try and flip this to a white. Yeah, I know I'm gonna probably look super orange on camera. I promise I don't look crazy in real life. Just bear with me. Okay, yeah, so I used to be really like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm not friends with this person anymore. And I used to really kind of like ruin my maybe week, month, I don't know, however long I would dwell on it. But I think it's important to be to be okay with the fact that you're not going to be friends with everyone for the rest of your life. I mean, that's great if you are, but it's also okay to not carry certain friends into the next stages of your life. That being said, don't be like, this person didn't like my picture on Instagram, I'm cutting them off. Like, nah. Yeah, okay, now I think I'm actually done with adult friendships. So I also like to put like foundation above my lids. I never do eyeshadow. It's like I need to unlock that level in life, and I just have not gotten to that level yet. I'm gonna use my camera to try and do this. Okay, so mental health. As I said, this is something I've struggled with since so I'm gonna use a beauty blender. Oh my god, it looks so gross. I did my makeup 2 days ago, that's why. I'm gonna use my beauty blender and blend in above my eyelid. Yeah, so I've struggled with anxiety since I was 10 years old, as I said, and now I am 27. So I've had a really tough journey with my mental health. Last year, I probably experienced the worst, I would guess, episode of anxiety of my entire life. I lost 20 pounds. I didn't want to go outside. I became, pretty withdrawn, which is kind of weird for me. Okay, yeah, so going in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I'm gonna do under my eyes, my chin, like by my mouth, and then up here on my forehead. This is in the shade Mocha. Okay, so I hadn't really done therapy consistently since having anxiety, which is kind of weird, mostly because therapy is super expensive, right? So last year what I did was, I finally got a doctor, just a general like practitioner, or GP, and I explained to her kind of what was going on. Like, I mean, this was like anxiety where I couldn't kind of carry out live like normal life. I couldn't do things that I usually would do. Okay, yeah, I like to over conceal, guys. Like, I like when my face is like matte. And just an FYI, this concealer is the best. Like, if you're someone like me who likes full coverage concealer, this is the best one to use. Go to your Sephora or Ulta or whatever and get that. Okay, so now I'm going to blend. Yeah, so I went to the doctor pretty much, and I told her what was going on, and she put me on medication. And I will say I was very anti-medication for a very long time, and I kind of bring it up. I blend up to my nose bridge because I'm going to eventually contour my nose, the end. Anyway, so I started medication last year, and I will say that it has made a huge difference in my life. So if you're someone who's considering medication, obviously talk to your doctor, because again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a mental health professional, just a girl sharing her like experiences. And yeah, so I think like, yeah, I took medication and I started therapy, and I've been doing therapy every week for the past almost a year now. And it has, again, literally changed my life. I can do things that I used to do before this whole episode of anxiety happened. So I say all of that to say that we need to take care of our mental health. Now, I realize that certain things like therapy are a privilege and a luxury, and that's something, you know, not everyone can afford to do that. So I'm just gonna share something that my therapist and I have been working on together, and I have used to kind of apply to my life. So what she had me do is pretty much think of things that trigger me in life. So for example, let's say like, sip some tea. All right, so let's say something I'm triggered by is failure. Or let's say I'm triggered by something on social media or on the internet or whatever. What are the thoughts that I tend to think? Okay, so what are some of the unhelpful thoughts that I might have? And that might be like, you know, like, I'm not doing well in my life, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not beautiful enough. Great, so we wrote those down. We wrote down my triggers first, then we wrote down when I, get into, or when I am triggered and I start feeling and I'm in that space of anxiety, what are the thoughts that I have? We wrote down those thoughts. Then we wrote down my values. So what do I value in life? So I value, for example, my relationships. I value my relationships with my partner, with my dog, with my friends, with my parents, my brother. I also value staying healthy. I value self-care. I value home decor. It can literally be anything that you value in life. Then when, so my therapist has kind of helped me get to a point where I, if I get stuck in the anxiety, I try and make a decision that moves me towards my values, rather than like sitting in that negative space. Again, easier said than done, and it has taken me a while to get to that point. Okay, so now I'm gonna set my under eye and everywhere I've concealed with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and my shade is Honey. Love this thing. I'm gonna use a beauty blender to do it. Okay, so I think, again, maybe for people out there who suffer with anxiety, suffer with depression, again, easier said than done. And I know the physical implications of mental health. Like if you're depressed, you don't even have the energy to get up out of bed sometimes, much less be like, I'm going to the gym because that aligns with my values. That's okay. What my therapist has helped me see is that it can also be in like small stages, right? So maybe I don't have the energy to get up and go to the gym, even though I value health. But I do have, maybe oh my God, I look like a ghost. Yeah, so, but maybe I do look like, maybe I do have the energy to, I don't know, watch a TV show with my partner. And that is a step towards strengthening my relationship with my partner. And as such, I'm going to try and do that. And that's the one thing I can handle for today. But I've made a step towards my values, okay? In terms of mental health, it's also super important to have a support system. Again, maybe you can't afford therapy. I suggest that you have at least 1 to 2 people in your life that you feel confident and you trust enough to share and be vulnerable with. That doesn't mean that you use them as your personal therapist, because that's not okay. You can't really use people as a therapist. But maybe sometimes, you're feeling down and you know, you let them know, and maybe they'll find a way to support you. That could either be calling you to check up on you, maybe, you know, trying to hang out with you. That could be suggesting resources for you. That could be maybe getting in contact with your parents or someone who, you know, if you're, you know, feeling really, really isolated, maybe you really need help, right? So it's important to have a support system. Yeah, so it's, oh my god, my camera just cut off. They said I've reached the maximum recording. You see how the face is coming together, guys? It looks snatched after. Yeah, so you have to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health. I think I'm gonna put like resources in my description box for like signs that like you might be suffering with a mental health disorder. So for a lot of Black people, especially if you are from the Caribbean or you're West African, you probably grew up with your parents telling you to like pray, and that it's just stress and there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe you didn't even see your parents address some of their own like mental health issues. So maybe you're not even aware that you have a mental health struggle. So I might put some signs and resources in the description box. So again, kind of like summarizing what I talked about for mental health, it's important to be aware that something's going on. Maybe think about your triggers, think about, you know, what puts you in that negative space, that anxious space, that depressed space, and then maybe make a list of your values and specific things you can do to, you know, move towards those values. And if you are able to afford it, therapy is key. It is so helpful. Even if you can only afford once a month, I mean, literally your therapist can give you, you know, exercises, things to do between sessions that can help you address some of the things that you may be struggling with. So therapy is key. If you can afford it, medication if you feel comfortable. Obviously, it depends on each person and their belief system. And obviously, talk to a doctor before. Do not just be like, I'm gonna go on medication, right? Because you have to make sure that your body is able to handle it and things like that. Cool, so that's mental health. Next thing I'm gonna do is like maintaining relationships with people. And I mean like romantic relationships, not adult friendships. Oh, I should have been contouring. Oop. Okay, so I don't really use contour. I did get the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, but I don't have a contour brush. I just realized that, like a brush for like contour cream. I realized I don't have that. So I haven't been able to use it, but it looks like this and I'm super excited to try it. I've heard like such good things about this. So I need to buy like a proper like contour cream brush. For the meanwhile, I just bronze. So I'm gonna use my Bobbi Brown bronzer in the color Deep 4, and to kind of blend that in, I'm using my Morphe E59 brush. Looks like this. Okay, so maintaining relationships. So me and my partner have been together 6 years. We did long distance for 3. So here's kind of what I have learned. So I'm gonna go up the cheeks like this. I always go up, I don't know why. I have no idea where the heck I learned that from. I don't even know if I'm doing that right. Things I have learned from my relationship in terms of how to maintain it. So obviously, no couple is perfect, that's the first thing. And again, I'm not a relationship therapist or marriage counselor or anything like that. Okay, now I'm just gonna blend in my setting powder, baking powder with a beauty blender. I'm going to blend under my eye and everywhere that I highlight or have baking powder with kind of like a damp beauty blender. Okay, so romantic relationships. If you've been with someone for a while, obviously you can fall into a routine. So how do you keep your relationship alive? I think first, communication and honesty is key. Kind of like what I said with adult friendships. You need to communicate with your partner what you want. Is it that you want to do more physical things? You want to spice that up? Do you want more affection, you want more like one-on-one time. What do you want? Because I think sometimes we expect our partners to just know what we're thinking or feeling, and we might withdraw and be like, why this person don't know why I'm upset right now, why I'm not feeling it right now. People can't read minds. I had to learn that the hard way. So you need to communicate what you want out of a friendship, out of a relationship. Once you do that, then I think it's important that you to consciously plan things to spend time together. So I think like for me and my partner, one thing that we tend to do is watch TV a lot, and like we can fall into that routine. So it's really important for us to plan date nights. That is so important. Go out with your partner, plan a date night, get out of the house. Indoor date nights are cute, but go outside. Go to a fancy restaurant, go roller skating, go go-karting, go something. I like to do dinners only because then I get to talk to my partner, but then adventurous stuff are really fun too. Spice up the physical stuff, period. And that's just based on whatever, you know, you and your partner like doing. Enough said on that. Gift giving. I think gifts are a really good way to kind of like it's a nice reminder to be like, I still care about you, I still think about you, I still notice the small things you say. Cards, things like that. And okay, so before I continue, I'm going to apply blush now. I'm gonna use the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blush, sorry. I'm gonna be applying it with my Morphe E58 brush. This blush is like, it's like the TikTok blush. I love blush. I like to look pink, which is funny. I didn't like blush until like a year ago. Yeah, so anyway, plan dates, plan like to give gifts. And I think it's important that you know what your partner's love language is, because that will help you keep your relationship alive. So like if your partner loves acts of service, do something for them. Like go like, maybe they're a person that likes to clean the house for them. Be like, that's what I did for you because I love you. Also, saying I love you is such a cute thing to do, and like it's so important that your partner knows that you still love and care for them. So say it. Even if it feels like, you know, I say this all the time, like, I love you. Okay, that's fine. But say it with meaning. Okay, so keeping your romantic relationships alive, communication is key. Go out on dates, spice up the bedroom or wherever, and know what your partner wants in terms of their love language. I love gifts personally, and I love like words of affirmation. I love that. So it's really important that my partner meets those expectations, right? So yeah, I also like, I also think that conflict is healthy. I don't mean like we're gonna be like fighting like every day and arguing every day. Nah, that's not healthy. But I think that it's important for you, if you have issues, to actually sort them out. Because you might realize after you have like, you're in a rut for a while, you realize, oh, the issue was this, we weren't communicating, or like you do this and then you know what I mean? So be sure that you are working out any conflicts that you might have. Do I need more blush? I feel like you can't see on camera. Can you see that? You see that pink? Yeah. All right, so the last topic that is on my agenda for today, which is perfect, I think I timed that perfectly, is Roe v Wade. So if you, what am I looking for right now? My highlighter. I use the Fenty Beauty Ginger Binge Moscow Mule Kilowatt highlighter. I gotta show you how it looks inside. Like, Ooh, sorry. I'll show you. I kill the Moscow Mule. Like that's my highlighter. I literally use this. Like this is the only highlighter I use. I want to try like a gold one day, but just love a pinky highlighter. Okay, so Roe V Wade. If you have been living under a rock, you might not have known that the Supreme Court of the United States overturned Roe V Wade, which protects a woman's right to an abortion. So here are my thoughts on that. First of all, that is a travesty, an absolute travesty, and an absolute like slap in the face to women in the United States. I think it's absolutely embarrassing that one of the leading, well, self-proclaimed leading countries in the world took such a huge step backwards in terms of women's rights. So I think that the whole, so now I'm gonna contour my, do I want more highlighter? I feel like I just did not highlight everywhere. So I did above my cheeks, above my brows, I think, or under my brows. I'm gonna do my nose, but after I do my contouring for my nose. Oh, Cupid spill. Got that from Rihanna. Okay, so back to, before I continue, I'm gonna take my Bobbi Brown bronzer again, and I'm going to contour my nose. I'm gonna use the Morphe M0 brush. As you can see, all my brushes are from Morphe, and they're the best. Okay, so Roe v. Wade, I think, is more of an issue of controlling women's bodies than saving lives, as the Supreme Court and conservatives like to argue. If you were concerned about saving the lives of children, then the country would have stronger and better gun reform policies, because after Sandy Hook, and I was in my junior year of university when that happened, I believe. So I think that was between 2013 and 2014. I'm really sorry if that's wrong. If you cared about saving kids' lives, then you would have, right after that, like, I mean, it should have happened years before from Columbine, really, but you would have made gun reform, had stricter gun reform policies. Now I'm gonna highlight my nose. Is my nose even contoured? I don't even think so. Girl, I don't know how to contour my nose. I just be doing things. Anyway, so I think it's not really so much about saving the lives of fetuses. I think it's more about controlling women's bodies and ensuring that they know what women are doing with their bodies at all times. They do not want women to feel empowered in that sense. And I am pro-choice. So that means I think women should have the choice to do whatever they want with their own bodies. And I don't think that in terms of abortion that women have to be in some like very tragic situation. For example, maybe they were raped and they got pregnant from this rape. I don't think that is the only situation where women should be allowed to have an abortion. If a woman, got pregnant and they don't feel like they are able to support that baby, or they don't want the baby, they should be able to have an abortion safely. And that's my next issue with overturning Roe v. Wade, is that this won't stop abortions. It will stop safe abortions, and that will mean that there will be more deaths because women are trying to get abortions, but in very unsafe situations. And it will unfortunately most likely impact women of color or women living in poverty, or an intersection of those two identities. So I think that it's an absolute tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy, and like, I call BS, as I said. Like, I think it's more about controlling women's bodies than actually protecting the lives of unborn kids. Those are my thoughts on Roe v. Wade. I think that, I think that like the fact that this was even allowed to happen, I think that like Obama should have codified this law to make sure that it would not be overturned. yeah, the fact that this was allowed to happen is really just a slap in the face. As I said, it's like, you know, like women have been fighting for various rights for so long, and now that this was taken away, it's just embarrassing to say the least. But you know, it's so interesting. Like, I feel like a lot of those men in power who make these decisions, and I'm not just talking about the Supreme Court, I'm talking about senators and governors, and who tend to be men in the United States. I'm sure all of them had someone that they wanted to get an abortion, right? So I feel like it's just convenient that, you know, they have the privilege of doing so and making that decision for whoever. But when it comes to women across the nation, they obviously, that's where they can't accept that, right? So it's only okay when they do it. Yeah, so Roe v Wade, those are my thoughts on the situation. I did get this like topic, multiple people suggested it, and suggested it like ages ago. Still think it's relevant, and so I decided I'm still gonna talk about it, obviously. And it's something I care deeply about, so I think women deserve the right to do whatever they want with their bodies. Okay, so I think I'm about done. I'm going to set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I actually saw my friend using this, and now I only use this to set my face. It is literally such a pleasant experience. Yeah. Ooh, I feel like I look crazy on camera. Like, it looks like it's not blended on anything, but trust me, child, in person I'll be looking good. I'm gonna do my lips after I put my wig on and my clothes on. So I'm gonna put my outfit on, my wig, show you what I'm wearing, and then I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the chit chat. Yeah, I feel like I could do better the next time, but now I know I can actually do a chit chat, get ready with me. I can actually put my makeup on camera. I feel proud. Okay, so I will be back to show you the final look. Hello, lovely people. So I am back. I put on my lips. I'm gonna tell you my combo. So I have the MAC lip. I use the MAC lip pencil in Cork. And then I also use the Morphe like lip gloss in Freebird. And I put on my wig. I'm gonna just brush my lashes here. I hope I get some nice pictures today. Okay, so this is my finished look. Ooh, I look cute. I'm sorry, I looked at myself. I look so cute. Okay, I'm gonna show you my outfit. So, wearing this top. It's from Rat and Boa. I'm wearing a pair of leggings from my outfit online. And then the shoes, I gotta take them off, are these, and they're from Simi. So if I can get like, I'm gonna try and insert like pictures. Yeah, so I'm gonna insert pictures when I take some later so you can see the finished look. But thank you so much for watching my first chit chat, get ready with me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.